Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories, Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. And my co host is my husband, Chris. Well, welcome to 200 episodes. So we made it. Give yourselves an applause. Yay! We made it to 200 episodes. So welcome. I hope that this makes more exciting. So we had a really good day today. So far that Chris and I we went to the bookstore and we made quite a few. Well, yesterday we made like quite a lot. So I made about $48, but I used the $20 when we went out to lunch today. I actually have met my husband's friends, and they're pretty nice. And I got a couple of subscribers. So far, I have about 46. I want to say thank you to Dave. Thank you for subscribing. So anyway, so today we went back to work at the bookstore, and we didn't make any sale today because nobody showed up, but that's okay. We're doing it tomorrow. So anyway, we have about oh, 80 episodes left. So anyway, by 80, um, I'll talk to him when it gets at Lantern House. This is the new one. So get ready, and it's a little we went to Hooters for lunch, and I've met his friends. I got another subscriber. But yeah, so it is extremely hot outside. So it's probably about 100 something degrees out. Anyway, I don't feel like cooking tonight. So I just had peanut butter sandwich, but before that I had a chicken salad. It was so good. And 200 that we've got 200 episodes. Now we just need 87 more to go. So anyway, I am so happy that you guys supported this channel, and it is an amazing thing to do. I decided to do this podcast last year because I wanted something more and bigger besides selling books at the bookstore, like cleaning up the place, selling a lot, making sure this bookstore had enough money, like it was getting enough supporters and making a bunch of money, especially with profits. And I want to do the bookstore forever. and I end up having a lot of experience with paranormal activity because way before that, I used to be skeptical about it, but now I'm a believer ever since I had this experience. But now I get to go with the ghost stories, so that is why I am doing this podcast for you guys. You love ghost stories. Here I am working on it. So anyway, let's get started on these ghost stories. It can be scary sometimes, but you're always welcome to join in this conversation and live stream if you wish. If you have any opinions and any stories of your own, you're always welcome to. So anyway, let's get started on the story. We are in episode 200. Give yourselves an applause and let's get started on the story. We are on season 6, episode 200. Wow, pat yourselves in the back.
Yay!
We did it, guys. We did it. I am so glad and happy, especially I am so proud of you guys being very, very supportive. So pat yourselves on the back or the last story at Lantern House. Season 6, episode 200. You guys are still supporting this channel, and just sit back and relax, maybe get something cold to drink, and sit back and relax. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started on the story. I hope this can surprise you a lot more. Of all the stories that I've been doing about a year now, I am so happy. It all started last April. It's been an amazing year, and let's continue doing this for the next year, and I will get more episodes. I promise I will talk to the producer of mine and see we'll get more episodes and more stories. Everyone in town knew Lantern House. By some version, called it that anymore. It sat at the edge of the bluff above the river. A broad old house with a wraparound porch, steep roof, and windows that caught sunset so beautifully. People forgave the way the place felt wrong. After dark, convalescent retreat, and finally a small writing residency run by a non-profit convinced solitude. Near water made good art. Fearless. That also reminds me of a friend named Fearless. Fearless, I hope that you are watching this. I hope that you don't mind that your name is in this story. Fearless had come there for 3 weeks because his friend swore he needed isolation to finish anything, and because the residency stipend covered groceries. He liked the house in daylight. When the porch looked almost theatrical and the river below made every thought feel part of a larger current. At night, however, its own attention. Doors settled in, sequence, floorboards creaked. I hate 11:11 p.m. Every night came the sound of paper being turned by someone who read with complete concentration. The residents before him had left notes in the kitchen guest book that, that sounded half like jokes and half like the study window likes company if the pages start turning. Don't interrupt the last story. At all of it until the fourth night, when he sat alone with tea and heard pages turning over. On the west wing, he climbed the stairs, opened the study, an empty room lit only by the desk lamp. He remembered switching off. On the desk lay a manuscript. Had written on paper the lines. He heard. The corner said, "You're early. It isn't finished yet." An older woman sat in the wing chair by the window. She wore a dark dress and held a fountain pen loosely in one hand, not ghostly, so much as quietly and inviolable as if she had belonged in that room longer. Her face was lined in the way of people who had spent their life observing more than performing. She did not look surprised to see him, only mildly inconvenienced. "Who are you?" Fearless asked. The woman considered him, then the unfinished pages. "The last resident who didn't leave a clean ending," she said. Her tone suggested this was a practical identity rather than metaphysical mystery. Before he could press further, the desk pages fluttered under an invisible draft and the room snapped back to ordinary darkness. The lamp was off, the chair was empty, but on the desk remained one sheet in unmistakably fresh ink. "Do not let them publish it unfinished." The residency director reached the next morning, reacted badly enough to confirm history before she spoke it. Lantern House, she admitted, had once belonged to a writer named Corinne Vale. Vale, original novelist of modest but serious reputation, who hosted salons there late in life. She died while working on a final manuscript no executor ever found in complete form. Some pages surfaced, others vanished. Her estate published fragments posthumously. Posthumously, whatever. Sometimes I can't even pronounce that word right. Against notes in her correspondence that she despised, fragmentary, released. And feared being turned into experts. Since then, residents Corin's voice most left it at that. No, fearless, who disliked being warned off a thing on principle, went straight back to the study that night. This time, he arrived at 11:11. Exactly, the lamp lit itself as the first page turned. Corinne Vale sat again by the window, hand, river light absent because there was only black glass beyond the pane. "You're the first to come on time," she said. "Aw, there's our kitty. I love that little kitty. Every time she hears my voice, she comes to me. Comes to us, actually." So, anyway, I hope this story literally makes a lot of sense to you all. Tell me, mommy. I love doing that. Okay. The manuscript on the desk was thicker now, still incomplete, but real enough to cast a shadow. Fearless stepped closer and saw that the pages were not fiction in any simple sense. They were meditations on waiting, unfinished work, and the violence institutions do to complexity when they crave publishable closure. Certain lines burned with the authority of someone who long ago learned to distrust being summarized. "Why me?" he asked. Corinne tapped the pen against her teeth once. "Because you dislike simplifications enough to be useful," she said. "And because you actually read before talking." Over the next 10 nights, the arrangement became impossible to deny. At 11:11, the study opened. Pages appeared. Corinne read, revised, and occasionally demanded his opinion with ruthless economy. She did not want flattery. She wanted attention, sequence, integrity. If he praised a sentence without understanding its structure, she dismissed him. If he suggested a cleaner ending that betrayed the argument, she looked at him with something close to pity. Yet she also taught she must not resolve what the book had spent 200 pages proving could not be resolved, and how posthumous editors often confuse incompletion with permission. Fearless came to understand that Lantern House was haunted not simply by Corinne's death, but by the attempted theft of her last form. She had been reduced to fragments against her stated will, and the house itself had become a protest filed in creaking floors and turning pages. That realization changed the task. He stopped thinking like a guest and started working like a witness. With the residency direct consent, he accessed the archive boxes in the locked downstairs closet. Letters, drafts, page proofs, and legal correspondence from the estate battle that followed Corinne's death. Night after night, he compared those papers with the pages in variant forms. Others had never been seen by the Foundation at all. The most important discovery came in a notebook hidden behind a false panel in the study desk. Corinne's own instructions for handling the final manuscript. If she died before completion, it was not a plea to publish. It was the opposite. She wanted the unfinished work preserved privately until enough notes could establish the shape of the intended whole, or else kept sealed. Better silence than betrayal by excerpt. It's a little weird word I've ever heard. One line read, "The pages upstairs had not been asking for release. They had been asking for defense." Fearless brought the notebook to the board with a forceful clarity no one in residence admitted. They were arguing scholarly access and whether a dead writer's wishes should outweigh literary interest. He answered all of them by asking whether they themselves wished to be turned into fragments. Against explicit refusal, Corinne appeared in those meetings as if the house had shifted from alarm to guarded possibility. The board eventually voted to halt any future publication projects and create a sealed archive protocol, which tolerate notes under current terms. That night, the first time the pages they waited, Corinne stood by. She said, "On Hill Night at Lantern House, Fearless found the desk bare except for one page beside it. The written page contained only a final sentence. A thing unfinished is not the same as a thing abandoned. The blank sheet was forever. Just a promise in plain language that the pages would remain as they had asked to. The room was empty. In an ordinary way lamp cooling. Chairs still river dark beyond the pane. No more page turns came that night. None the following week either. According to the next residents, moths. Lantern House, in other words, had become old again. Fearless left with less written than he intended and more finished than he expected. He had completed Warren's book. He had done something rarer and perhaps more ethical. He had defended its right not to be completed by the wrong hands. That stayed with him longer than the haunting itself. People talk often about dissolution. Dissolution. Corinne wanted turned. The house wanted witness, and the last story at Lantern House turned out not to be a manuscript at all, but an argument about whether the unfinished deserves protection from the living urge to package everything into an ending. Holy fuckers. This story is so interesting. I think the story is in this story, and I had to say it 1,000 times. Fearless, 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 fearless. Fearless.
This is water jelly.
Kind of funny though.
So, was invented in Japan to make drinking safer,
let me ask you guys
people,
a question.
On...
What did you think about the story? Did it touch your heart? Did it your heart when the unknown writer had passed away at the Lantern House? What did you think about this story?
It was a good story.
Did you notice that our friend's name is in this story?
Yes.
It is weird. I see that coming. Fearless, if you're watching this, is in this story. Let me know in the comments if you feel comfortable that your name is in it. Mentioned like 1,000 times. So, now that the story is done, we are going to and answers. So, stick around with questions. When we have 10 answers. Anyway, I hope that you guys, I don't know, hope it does. I hope it makes any sense to me too. So, anyway, let's get started on the questions. If you have any, let me know in the comments down below, and you're always welcome to leave me a lot of opinions, tiny stories of your own, of like a lot of experience with a lot of spirits messing with you, just low or whatever. So now we are going to questions and answers. Let me know what you guys think. And I hope my friend Fearless is watching this show right now. It is 9. It's already like 9 p.m. It's like 10 minutes after 9. So anyway, let's get started. Would you have gone back to the study after hearing the pages turn? I totally would, yes. I mean, my friend Fearless and I are big readers. I mean, we love to read a lot. I read all the time. My friend reads books 12 before he goes to sleep. So, Fearless, if you're watching this, let me know how you feel that you're in this story. Do you feel that pretty good about it, or let me know if you're happy about that your name mentioned, especially in this story, because it sounds like it's related to you, so to your life events or whatever. But I think that I totally would go to the study. If I went to the Lantern House, which I have no idea where it is, I totally would go and see what's going on, to the spirit of this writer. So, I mean, literally, I totally would. If I knew this person's name, this author actually, I totally would help her move on to the afterlife. I would help her. I would honor her wishes, and definitely, her name's Corinne actually, but I totally would honor her. I mean, I'm an author myself, so I've written 2 books already, and I just need to finish my second one before we release it on Amazon, before we publish it. So it will take us a while. So anyway, let's continue. Do you think Corinne stayed because of the manuscript, the principal, or both? I think it's both. Let me know in the comments if you think Corinne stayed because of her manuscript or both, like principles or whatever. But because she wanted to get her book done, but she never had. Let me know in the comments if you think she did. And do you think that this story of wishes not to complete the book? I would totally complete the book. If I died before I completed it, I would be heartbroken. I would be mad. I would literally try and get it done. No matter what, even in death, I'll have to finish it. Instead of leaving it and not being completed, I totally finish working on that. Even though I'm taking a break right now because I am helping my producer to sell the books at the bookstore, and trying to do a close the sale, like close out or something like that. It's a close sale, so I'm trying to get everything taken care of. So this is what we're doing for a week or 2. Anyway, I think that it's both. So number 3, writers house houses such strong settings for ghost stories. Well, it's probably because Corinne's a lot of emotions, and she's stuck in that house where she was writing her book, and she died unexpectedly before she finished. So she tried very hard. Apparently, somehow she just died, just like that. Apparently, I am trying to figure out what really killed her. So, it's a good story. Memories, stories to tell people. It's old, but it had really good memories. It had a bunch of things like so many good people had laughed, lots of laughter. It has problems, but it survived war, I guess. It survived anything, being whatever else has history. I mean, it was built like many centuries ago. So anyway, a lot of people has gone through that place, like written a bunch of books in there, and then they left. So because it has a lot of memories and emotions, they're alive because they're like the heart and soul. The house has for many, I guess, and that's a good thing. Houses like these have that house. They trapped happened. That's why they died, and that's why they chose to be, because they had really good place to be. They loved that place. They chose to stay and just be happy. It's the last place they knew to go when they needed some quiet time or whatever. But other than that, that house had really good stories. It had a lot of history. So anyway, let's go to number 4. Let's go. Yeah. What was more unsettling? Her presence, the unfinished instructions. I think it's her appearance. Like her spirit, like Link's constantly, all the time, trying to get her novel done, but she never had a chance because she passed away. So it's her spirit tied to the house to get a book done. Her spirit's actually tied to the book that she was working on before she died. But for me, I think it's her presence. So let's go to number 5. Okay, we have 5 questions before I sign off. Was Fearless right to defend the work from publication rather than trying to complete it? Of course he did. My answer is yes. I mean, a lot of authors always usually finish working on the book because it takes a lot of time, imagination, creativity, bunch of characters or book or any other people's brain. It takes a lot of evidence or leverage or whatever. But for Corinne, I don't know why. So I think it's the right thing. Yes, should blank pages for him to finish, I guess, or write his own thing or whatever. But I think he did the right. What do you make of the line, "A thing unfinished is not the same as a band"? Perhaps she's trying to tell him the last pages were meant for him to write his own thing. Apparently, she didn't want the pages to be abandoned. She wanted they wanted. So. Hi, kitty kid. Hi, kitty. Hi. Hi, sweetie. So anyway, yeah, wanted Fearless to not complete the book. Some authors are just so weird by not completing the entire novel. I would like to complete my novels, okay? Even though if I'm taking a break because I want to get rid of all the books at the bookstore I worked at. I am going to come back and finish, but I would never abandon all the pages unfinished. I have to complete it. It's my duty to complete the whole thing. I want my reader and experience with that. It's like I want them to live through this novels. I mean, I would have done it a long time ago and some to help me finish working on my books, help me write them, all of these pages. I would want someone to help me complete my books, something like that. That's exactly what I want. But Corinne, she chose something different, I guess. I don't know why, but I guess I'll have to honor her wishes then. Okay, let's go to number 7. Can protecting incompletion be more respectful than forcing closure?
Yes.
Of course it can. But if I were Corinne, I'd rather complete it and then instead of leaving, rather complete the whole thing, finish the whole thing. I have to do this. This is what I would have done instead of honoring her wishes, but I'd rather complete my own shit. So anyway, of course, protecting incompletion be more respectful than forcing closure. I want closure. Questions left. We have 3 questions left before I sign off. Would you have read Night if given the chance? Of course I would. Yes. If I would have done it alone, thumbs up and do what I have to do. Start my own shit. Read a lot of books. I would write my own novels and I would never ever stop working on it. I have to work on it. It'll it so want read it and maybe some smiley face and tell me how good my books are. If they want more books, I will be happy to write them. Literally. All right, guys, we got two questions left before I sign off. Is this haunting more authorship? That's what I think. I think it's definitely about authorship, like author thing. Let me ask you a question. Is this haunting more about authorship or autonomy?
Autonomy.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Just
maybe about a little bit of both.
Okay. Cool. Well, my husband says it's autonomy. For me, I think it's like a authorship thing. It's my duty as an author to finish the whole thing before I start another one. So let me know in the comments if this makes any sense to you all. If you think my podcast is good, let me know. If you love my podcast, you are work on a so. All right, guys, we have one last question before I sign off. If a dead writer trusted you with their unfinished work, what would you do? Finish their novel instead of leaving it unfinished. I don't care if her work I really do. So I hope that this makes any sense to you. So anyway, just let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, we are out of time. I just want to say thank you for watching and tuning in, and I hope you guys I want to thank you guys for subscribing to this channel. Please continue supporting this, and I just feel like if people don't subscribe to my channel, I would be very disappointed and sad. I would probably have to leave the show forever if no one wants to. I would probably stop working on this. So anyway, thank you guys again. On the next episode of Ghosting with Anya, there's a new story on episode 201. It is called The Pharmacist Behind the Counter. This is the new one. I hope this will make a lot of sense. And yes, I go to a pharmacy to pick up my meds anytime soon, so I need to go to the pharmacy tomorrow and pick up my oxybutynin. So anyway, thank you guys again. Have a wonderful night. Stay hydrated. If you feel hot, you should probably turn on the AC. It'll make you feel so hydrated and cooled off. And but yeah, anyway, thank you guys again. Have a wonderful night. See you on next time of Ghosting with Anya. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful night. May God bless you all. May God protect you as well. Good night, everyone, and see you guys next time. Bye!